Well, hello there, everyone. Hi, welcome back to the Daily Creative Challenges. Just for reference, my neighbors decided right before this to turn on a pressure washer. So if you hear some weird noise in the background, that's what it is. I try to move the mic a little bit closer so we can tune that out and focus on our Daily Creative Challenge. My name is Andrew Hockrattle, and I will be your host, guide, and detective over the next 2 weeks. Today is our second day of our Daily Creative Challenges. So let me know where you're watching from in the world. It's always my favorite thing to see where you're watching from and who you are. So go ahead and drop that in there. Hello, Giratima, our friend Wade, who is our moderator. Joy is here, a villa. Nice to see you all. Hello, thank you for the wave emojis. I am waving back. So let's hop in and talk a little bit about what the Daily Creative Challenges are. So these are the Daily Creative Challenges for Adobe Illustrator. We are going to be learning some tips and tricks each day. I like to do a style called infotainment, so it'll give you some information as well as a lot of entertainment. If you'd like, you can follow along right here, right there, on Behance or on Instagram, wherever you want. It is just hawk.co. So check that out, follow along, and that's where I like to do my challenge reviews, which brings me to my next point. Here on the behance.net/challenge/illustrator, Rob Zilla's in the house. Rob Zilla, what's up, dude? Rob Zilla is an incredible, amazing illustrator and just like really fun guy. So if y'all see him, we're to see him in the future at a conference or at a talk or maybe Adobe Max, Rob Zilla. I don't know. Are you? Let us know if you're doing anything at Adobe Max. All right, sorry. So behance.net/challenge/illustrator. This is the place to be. This is where you can get all of the source files over the next 2 weeks. You can't hear very well. All right, let's see if we move it. Is this better, anyone? Is this better to put it in? So we'll try that. So over the next 2 weeks, we'll be doing the challenges through the lens of a detective story. It's always fun to learn with a story and hopefully gives you some memorable moments. So you can get all of the source files at behance.net/challenge/illustrator. And here you can download it. Yesterday we did a window sign, which a lot of people worked on, and they are awesome. And then today we are doing shadow type. We're going to cast that long shadow, super noir, very much like we're looking down at the table. And yes, if you are not registered for Adobe Max, go register for Adobe Max. It's going to be a great time. I have 5 sessions, so I will be out and about a lot at Adobe Max. So come hang out with me. The next thing that I want to talk about is this. I clicked it too early, but let's go here. Bit.ly/AI Discord. This is a place to get into the Discord, to post your challenge reviews as people work on their challenges. This is where you can get feedback from me, ask for advice, post your portfolios. There's all kinds of stuff that you can do over here in Discord. So click on this link, join our Discord, and let's take a look at what's happening in there. People are posting their challenges. Really, really great job. If you missed it last night, I went live on my personal Behance and gave some feedback on what was happening. So yesterday, we did these window signs. These are looking amazing. Great job. Thank you so much for participating, everyone. It always means the world to me when I see you doing some great work and posting it there in Discord. So let's hop back and talk about one more thing, and that is what we're doing today. So today we are working on shadow type. If you've ever wanted to know how to make a shadow, we are going to be working on that today using blends and really pushing that noir style that we've been working on. So stay tuned because I am going to give a call to our friend Detective Hawk. All right, we are back, y'all, and I will pretty much almost never make that transition. That is quite the costume change that we need to do. So, welcome back to our Detective Hawk segment. This is where we're going to be learning and investigating a case through the lens of Adobe Illustrator. So, today we are talking about shadows. Ooh, and yes, I just have this outfit laying around, absolutely. So, today we're talking about long shadows. And if you can see on this desk, right, where this light is right here, it's hitting down, and you can see some of the shadows, especially on the hat, that it's casting this long shadow. Now, that's what we're going to do today, but we are going to be doing it with type. We're going to be using letters to create those long shadows and working with blends. So today, let's hop over into Adobe Illustrator, and there may be a secret message. So we need to delve in and see what we can find in our secret message of the lesson today. So here we are over in Adobe Illustrator, and this is a really, really great product to be able to play around with type specifically. Love working with type. And so today we've come in and we found a bunch of letters kind of smattered on the table, right? We walked into our office and they were kind of just sitting here. So challenge number 2, use the blend tool to create dimensional type with a long shadow. So we're going to work on that right now, long shadow. Could these letters mean something? Is it a clue? Ooh, is it a clue? It's a mystery. So let's hop in here and I'll show you how to do a blend. Before we start working on the long shadows, I want to show you the power of what a blend does. So a blend is basically making a shape, right? So we have one shape here. Let's make this one red. And then another shape over here. Let's make this one green. So what it's going to do is when you make a blend, you select the two objects and go to Object, Blend, Make. And what that's going to do is it is going to basically tell Illustrator, we want you to start here, right, with this shape, this square, and we want you to get to this shape with this square. All of the properties, all of the shape, everything needs to shift and change so that it is making that smooth transition. So let's try this. We can also select this and go to Object, Blend, Blend Options, and look at specified steps. Sorry, there's something in my mouth. There we go. And so if I set this to, let's say 5, it's actually going to show us the 5 steps that it takes to get from this red to this green. And the great thing about working with blends is that they are live. If we want to pull these out, they will continue to blend, and this is a great way to get color palettes, right? If we want to explore some different color palettes, let's say we're working with green, we can use the direct selection tool and select just this object and change the color. So maybe working blue to green. Ooh, that's a nice little color palette. Or maybe we want to shift it up entirely and do one side in a purple and maybe one side in a yellow. So really, really great way to pull color palettes that feel like they are gradual, like they aren't as crazy and in your face random colors. It is mathematically calculated, which is pretty cool. So you can work with blends in that way, but how we're going to work with blends today is we're going to make shadows. Also, because it is starting on one place and going to another, it changes the form as well. So let's say that we want this to go to a circle. It's going to show us, hey, this square, here are the steps to get it to a circle. It gets pretty crazy when you start messing around with blends of different shapes. It gets completely out of control. So you can play around with that on your own time. But for now, we're going to do some shadows. So let's hop over here. And what we want to do is I'm just going to grab one of these letters. So we're going to, do we want to make a new layer? No, we don't. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab one of these letters. We are going to Command or Control C, which is copy, and Command Shift or Control Shift V, which is paste in place. So now you can see it has pasted another copy of it right on top, right? So copy and then Command Shift V, paste in place. So it's putting one right on top, which is what we want. And now I'm going to drag this out, right? And what I'm doing here is I'm thinking about the physical world, right? I'm thinking about a shadow. I'm thinking that, okay, there is a dark shadow in one spot and it starts there and then it moves to a lighter shadow, right? So when I'm thinking in blends, right, it's starting somewhere and moving to another. It's starting in black and then moving toward white or opaque, right? So what we can do is we can select these two and we know we want to start here in black and then we want to end in white so that it kind of fades away. So with these two, we're going to tell Illustrator we want you to start here and move to here. So with these two selected, we'll go Object, Blend, Make. And what that's going to do is it's going to make that blend between the two. Here, if you haven't, you can go to Object, Blend, blend options. And so let's say that yours looks like this. That's because you are on specified steps. You want to be doing a smooth color. So we'll go to Object, Blend, Blend Options again, and change this to Smooth Color. That's going to take it so that it smooths from the black over into the white. So we'll hit OK. And here's another problem, is that it looks like it's coming toward us, right? That the dark is here and the light is here. We want it to be the opposite so that it feels dark and then moves toward the light. So what we can do is just double click into this. You can see the blend is the line that we have right here. That's the blend, that the direction it's moving along. And right here, we can right click and go to Arrange, Send to Back. And what that's going to do is say the black part needs to be on the top of the layers, and then the white part needs to be on the bottom of the layers. So we'll double click out of that. And now you can see we have our letter here, which we are actually going to bring to the front. Arrange, bring to front so that it sits on top, and move our blend right back here. I messed that up a little bit. Let's do this way of doing it. There we go. So now what we want to do is I'm actually going to multiply this, right? If we're thinking it's going from black to white, when we multiply takes away all of the white. So we are going to go here to multiply. And now we already have this nice kind of long shadow that's pushing here. Now for me, it's a little bit too close to this black, so we can click here and change the transparency to around 50. So now we have this nice long shadow that's continuing all the way down. So what we can do now is make one for all the rest of these. And so when you're working, you usually want to do them individually, but we're just going to make one for the entirety. Again, we are going to Command C to copy, Command Shift V to paste. And you'll see I usually like to change the color just to make sure that it has worked. So it's pasted a copy in front. And then we are again going to do the long shadow right there. Select these two, and the hotkey is Command Option B or Control Alt B. And it will make that blend. And you can see, what's the problem here? Let me know what the problem is with what I just did, and why this isn't looking like this. What setting do I need to change? Let me know. That setting, because chat is going to be a little bit behind, I'll come back. But what I'm going to do is go to Edit. Nope, I'm going to go to Object. I'm going to go to Blend. I'm going to go to Blend Options. And yes, the answer is that we have not changed it to smooth color. Actually, the problem is that we haven't assigned it as black and white. Look at that. So the copy that we have here, let's do white. Smooth color is going to just be 2 steps. So let's go ahead and go to Object, Blend, Blend Options. Another way to do this, if the smooth color is not working, is to go to Specified Steps and set this up at about 100. So it will do 100 steps between the top and the bottom. Command F works as well. Thank you, Robzilla. So hitting OK. Again, another problem that it feels like they're zooming toward us, where we want it to be fading into the background. We're going to double click, and because we have a group of these other letters, we can send that to the back. And I'm hitting Control Shift left bracket, my goodness. Or you can right click and go to Arrange Send to Back. So we have that now, and I'm just going to multiply. And like everything else, set this to about 50%. There we go. And you can get really, really interesting with some of these as they start to overlay and overlap. You can get some very cool kind of interactions with those shadows. Now, there's one more thing that I want to do, and that's kind of start to play around with how to arrange these. It looks like there might be a secret hidden message here, but before we start moving the letters around, what I want to do is make sure that the light source is right. So our light source is right here, and it is coming toward the outside, right? So it's coming in about this way. So what I want to do is think about the real world and how this would look kind of with that light hitting. So what I can do is with this glow, I can come in here and just grab these shadows, and I can grab the back of the shadow using A, which is the direct selection tool. So I'm basically saying, hey, Illustrator, I want you to start here with the shadow and then end here, but I can grab just this back shadow and start to move it so that each of these letters will have the right angle for what's happening with the shadow. I also can make the shadow longer if I like. So we're going to kind of pull these to make sure that the shadows are all heading in the right direction. So this is very much something that you can do by eye. This is something that you can do mathematically. You can take measurements and do all that stuff. I don't really think you need to, especially for a challenge like this. You can kind of just play around and find the right place. But this is a really, really great way to play around with shadows and make sure that your shadows are all heading in the right direction. So let's grab, let's see, this T back here. And something that you can do if there are letters hidden is you can basically hit Command or Control Y, and that will make it so that you are, you are in outline mode. And outline mode will make it easy to select some of these things that are getting a little bit wonky. Oh boy, I got lost in outline mode, my goodness. So I'm just grabbing these and moving to have some great shadows. Are you, okay, where are you getting the multiply transparency options? Up here, right above me in the transparency panel over here. So again, we can just continue. We can move these around so that we have the shadows that we want. There we go. And so now it feels like the light is hitting a little bit more at that angle, right? That it's glowing and pushing these. You can get to the transparency, yes. And this T is going to, there we go, is going to kill me. Oh boy, there we go. Let's pull that over there. There we go. So now we have a little bit more that it feels like this is an actual shadow, right? Oh boy. So we're good. So now we have an actual shadow that it's kind of pushing through. We can come in and we can edit and change those as much as we want. Some of these on the long ones are getting a little bit pixelated. So that'll happen sometimes that it isn't necessarily pulling as many steps as you want to be smooth. So you can actually change those options by going to Object, Blend, Blend Options, and then increasing the specified steps. So let's just go to 200, see how it looks. Sure, close enough for me. So we zoom out. Now we've got this nice little shadow going on. And let's go ahead and do just a clipping mask. And we are going to make a clipping mask, and it will mask everything in there. So now we have this nice long shadow. Now what I want you to do for your daily creative challenge is I want you to play around and make some long shadows. But I want you to arrange these letters and try to figure out what the secret message is. It is, I believe I can decipher 4 words in here. So try to move around, work with finding what that secret message is. If you want to do your shadows first, then just remember, if you're moving these letters around, right? Let's click in there. If you're moving these letters around, you'll have to change the shadows. So if you're moving this around, playing with the shadows, right? If you're trying to figure out a word that maybe you think that it starts with an O, you're going to bring the O over to make sure that you have it in the right place. But because you move it, if you have the shadow already, you'll have to come in here and again, click into the blend using the direct selection tool and move that shadow to follow the light, right? So there is a secret message, and if you want to decode it to move the letters around, remember that you need to augment your shadows each time as well. So play around with this, and once you are done, I want you to post right here, bit.ly/AI Discord with your long shadows, and maybe if you can find it, the secret message. So post right there. I will be on a little bit later tonight giving feedback, helping you guys out with decoding that message or just working with your blends. Now we have about 5 minutes left, so I'm going to show you guys the bonus lesson for today. It still sticks with blends, but instead of doing long shadows, what if we want to do a long shadow of a letter, right? Or what if we leverage blends to make a letter? And this is crazy. It's one of my favorites. So here's what we do. Let's say that we want a wavy shadow. This is going to be so crazy. We can grab our letter here. We're going to grab the O, and I'm going to paste it down here. All right, so pretty crazy. Let's do our blend. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to make a blend of 2 colors. So let's say that we want pink and blue. So we are going to grab these 2. We are going to Command-Shift-B, Control-Option B. I'm hitting all the wrong buttons. We're going to go to Object, Blend, Make, right? It's making those 2. And check this out. So we have right here this awesome, right? We have our little letter here. But watch what happens when we do this. I'm going to find the center of this. I'm going to click, and let's say that we want to make a wobbly shadow, right? Maybe something weird's happening with the light and the shadow is getting a little wobbly. We're just going to create a path, as you can see here. And with these two selected, right, we are going to do a setting that's going to put this on this, right? Instead of this straight line that's happening right here, that is called the spine. Let's make this green so you guys can see it a little better. This is called the spine that's going across the middle right here. What we're going to do is, instead of putting all the way straight through, we are going to go ahead and replace that spine. So saying the blend, start here, go to here. We're going to select this line and go to Object, Blend, Replace Spine. And what that's going to do, that's right, it's going to make it super wobbly and wobbly, right? So this is if we have some kind of crazy shadow that's happening, or you want to do a cool blobby brush kind of texture, this is your bonus lesson. You can replace that spine, and you can actually come in here and play around with what this spine is doing. So you can change where it's ending, where it's going, what the path is, and it will continue to say, Illustrator, we want you to start here, end here, using this color and this shape. Something else that you can do that is really crazy, right, is let's say that we want to augment the shape of this. So let's go ahead and grab some of these. Swoop. Illustrator is still going to say, cool, we're starting here and we're going here, and it will kind of mess around with how you distort those shapes. So great way to do a weird wonky shadow if you like. We can go here and again just go to white and fade it all the way out. There we go. So that's our weird wonky shadow on a letter as well. And again, what you can do if you want to is go in with the direct selection tool, hit A, and you can bring this to the front or the back to depend on how you want to do that shadow. So that's your little bonus for today. Play around with this and make sure that you put it into a clipping mask. And once you're done with that, post right here at bit.ly/AI Discord. If you really want to go the extra mile, you can maybe put in some texture on top of it. You can add some more lighting effects. Something that would be really fun to do. We have a gradient on this right here. Let's say that we want to do another gradient, right? So let's do a very large gradient. And this is what I want you to do with the challenges, is just go as far as you can. Do a crazy you version of this. Take it where you want. You don't have to necessarily follow along exactly where I'm going. So we're going to do a gradient, and I want it to be white. So let's do white here. And then at the end, I want this to be at 0% opacity. There we go. So it's going to go through. And again, I'm just thinking about where this light is going to land. And it's going to go over these letters a little bit, right? That as if it was a lamp kind of shining through. So we're going to take the opacity down just a little bit to maybe 50. There we go. And we are going to bring that up just so it's not hidden. So there we go. We have added an extra little bit, an extra little piece, so that it looks like now these letters are kind of pushing more with that light hitting them. It feels like they're blended into the background, really giving that shadow that you want to accomplish. So this is very noir, very fun to play around with. And again, I want you to make it your own. I saw a lot of people yesterday posting in Discord, and y'all have been making these challenges your own. Yesterday, there was no secret message yesterday. There will be some more coming up, but y'all made this your own. You used type, you worked on the path. So take the concepts that we talk about each lesson and make sure that you apply them to your own structure. So thank you so much for joining me today. I will be back again at the same time, same place, 11:30 a.m. Pacific time for another daily creative challenge. If you want to stick around, coming up next, we have our friend Olivia and Zach Fields, then Jesse Showalter with the Adobe XD challenge, and I'll be back at the end of the day with a show called Design in the Dark. Design in the Dark is where you all get to fill in a Mad Lib and act as our creative brief. I make a Mad Lib for You chat to fill in, and we design on the fly based on your suggestions. So set a reminder, come back at 2:30 p.m. for that show. We'll be live with our friend Happy Impulse, working on some popsicles for a koala conference. That's right. That's what happened yesterday. Y'all got wild in the chat and gave us some really weird words to work off of. So join us back at 2:30, and I will see you all tomorrow for another daily creative challenge. Bye.